Names are David,
Clarice.
And Taylor.
and we are here to explore with you the dark matters of science.
So let's start by going back in time to the biggest rivalries of scientific history in the 1600s.
The fundamental basics of many scientific fields have just begun to coalesce. The two titans we will cover in this time period are Robert Hooke, whom looked inside the microscope and coined the word cell, and Sir Isaac Newton, whose area of expertise is physics and is considered a well-known scientific name.
To learn and understand the rivalry between these two titans, we must first know their background information. Let's begin with Robert Hooke. Well, the two were very good friends and colleagues until a small mishap ruined everything, and both secretly recognized each other's intellect. Oh, there's the cat. Robert Hooke mainly focused on biochemistry. He was a part of the Royal Society, and he published a book on microphagia.
Isaac Newton is rather well known for his theory on gravity. He was the leader of the Royal Society and published the 3 scientific laws of motion. History is written by winners, and this is no exception. The problem between the two began with gravitation. They both worked on the theory separately at first, but together at last. Hooke designed many experiments, but a theory of gravity would need mathematical expertise. This is where Newton came in. Newton did not like to share credit with Hooke because he quote-unquote literally sucked eggs at the math part.
Out of spite, Newton destroyed most of Hooke's works and tried his hardest to ruin his reputation. When Hooke died, Newton literally burned Hooke's portraits to ashes.
We will go to the next time period, the mid-1800s, a battleground of dinosaur hunters, Edward Ricker Cope and Othniel Charles Marsh. Edward Cope was born in an incredibly wealthy family and has been interested in sciences all his adolescent life. Othniel Marsh, however, grew up in opposing circumstances. He was raised in a poor background and was only capable to being in the scientific field due to the financial backing of his uncle. They both met in Germany and started a healthy competitive spirit, unlike the one held by Newton and Hooke. It began when Cope hurriedly built the newly discovered dinosaur, Elasmosaurus. Unknowingly, Cope placed the anterior of the skeleton on the posterior, and Marsh did not hesitate once to mock him in public.
Whoops.
The two paleontologists clashed ever since.
Now we go to the last and most recent time period, the 1900s.
The spotlight is now on Melvin Calvin. He was born in St. Paul, Minnesota. He got his degree at UC Berkeley as well as died there. And he was most famously known for fathering the Calvin cycle, and you will later know that he was not supposed to be called the Calvin cycle. But what made him belong into our list? Just like Newton, he was an attention hog. The famously known Calvin cycle, a process of photosynthesis in plants, was actually the product of 3 scientists, not 1. It was supposed to be named as the Calvin-Benson-Bassham cycle, but Melvin Calvin took the credit and the Nobel Prize for himself.
Yeah.
Whether it was the vicious rivalry between Newton and Hooke, the battle of the dinosaur hunters, or the miscredited Calvin cycle, the pattern is clear. Sometimes scientists have a dark side to which comes out every now and then. Of course, there are a lot of other scientists of which we cannot include in this 5-minute video, some of which are Richard Dawkins, Thomas Huxley, Richard Owen, Nikola Tesla, Louis Pasteur, Robert Koch, Jonas Salk, Michael Faraday, Gilbert Lewis, Walter Nernst, Francis Crick, Humphrey Davy, Maurice Wilkins, and so much more.